Money moves fast online, but belief moves faster. Because belief doesn't wait for proof. It only needs a voice that sounds certain. And inside this digital storm, that voice is never hard to find. The wolf didn't retire. He learned how to whisper through a screen. Last chance to get in. Every day, digital rooms fill with people chasing the same promise. A quick escape, a fast return, a way to stop falling behind. But if you slow the moment down, you notice something uncomfortable. This isn't new. It's familiar. It's an old persuasion blueprint, one that existed long before apps, algorithms, or crypto, rebuilt for a world where attention never sleeps. The internet didn't invent the boiler room. It industrialized it. Because technology changed the speed of money, but it didn't change the human need for direction. When life feels too complex to calculate, certainty becomes relief. This film is about that relief, how it's manufactured, how it spreads, and why the people who sell it rarely look like villains. Because the most valuable product in modern markets isn't information, it's confidence. Here's the truth we miss when we judge the crowd. Most people inside these rooms aren't reckless. They're overloaded. They don't join because they love risk. They join because the world is moving faster than they can process. Prices rise, timelines compress. Everyone else looks like they know something you don't. So you search. A thread, a video, a room full of confident strangers. And then you feel it. That subtle shift. When uncertainty becomes unbearable, and certainty starts to feel like safety. This is where the spell begins. When confidence feels more valuable than understanding. The old world had friction. You had to call someone, read paperwork, wait. The modern world removed waiting. Now certainty arrives instantly. Simplified, compressed, and wrapped in urgency. And urgency does something dangerous. It doesn't persuade you with logic. It persuades you with time pressure. Because when the clock is ticking, thinking feels like losing. That's why the wolf loves one phrase above all others. Last chance. Not because it's true, but because it collapses your decision window. It turns doubt into embarrassment. It turns patience into weakness. It turns caution into regret before anything even happens. A deadline is the cleanest weapon persuasion has. Why smart people still fall. He isn't greedy. He isn't foolish. He's tired. Tired of doing everything right and still feeling behind. He doesn't want to get rich. He wants to breathe. And when someone offers him certainty, a clean story, a confident voice, a simple move, he doesn't feel manipulated. He feels rescued. Hope is leverage when you don't know what else to hold. What you're seeing isn't random hype. It's a repeatable technique, a loop. And once the loop starts, it doesn't need truth to survive. It only needs enough people to move. So movement can impersonate proof. Because in the digital age, the crowd doesn't ask, "Is this real?" The crowd asks, "Is it moving?" Patterns in markets don't repeat because markets are predictable. They repeat because people are. And when you zoom out far enough, the digital world starts to look less like a revolution and more like a return. Here's the loop. A crowd searching for direction. A voice offering certainty. A system that rewards whoever sounds sure enough. It worked in a small office 30 years ago. It works on millions of screens today. Only the scale changed. In the past, hype moved at the speed of a phone call. Today, hype moves at the speed of a notification. Back then, a few hundred buyers could push a price. Now, a few thousand clicks can create temporary liquidity in assets barely anyone understands. But the technique is the same. Simplify the story, compress the risk, accelerate the decision. Because people don't invest in numbers, they invest in meaning. And meaning travels faster than math. Here's the uncomfortable shift. This isn't just about bad actors, it's about incentives. Platforms reward what holds attention. Markets reward what moves the price. Audiences reward what feels confident. Accuracy is optional. Certainty is not. So the system becomes self-reinforcing. Certainty gets attention. Attention creates movement. Movement becomes proof. Proof attracts more belief. The most dangerous lies don't sound false. They sound finished. And once belief is visible, questioning feels like missing out. This is why even sincere voices get pulled toward performance, because nuance doesn't spread as fast as confidence. Here's the cost most people don't talk about. It's not just lost money, it's damaged judgment. Every cycle trains people to move faster next time, to trust feelings over structure, to follow momentum instead of understanding. Markets become louder, more reactive, more fragile, and individuals become conditioned to outsource thinking to whoever sounds most certain. This isn't a failure of intelligence, it's a failure of time, because speed starves reflection. So what breaks the certainty spell? Time. The wolf needs speed, because speed prevents scrutiny. The moment you slow the cycle down, the story has to survive questions. The numbers have to survive inspection. The urgency has to survive tomorrow. This is why the most valuable skill in modern markets isn't spotting opportunity. It's spotting pressure, recognizing when a system is trying to compress your thinking window. Because once you see the pattern, its power weakens. Not because you become cynical, because you become clear. The world will keep changing. New platforms, new narratives, new voices that sound like they hold the map. But the pattern behind them is ancient. So here's the question to carry with you. In a world full of confident voices, who earns your belief and why? If this gave you a new lens, stay tuned in for more.